So after that, we said, okay, yeah, where can we find some money from now? I believe that layoffs is a last resort. I don't believe that's something that you lead with. And so instead of laying off people, now that's where we were. Where we are now in terms of DDOT, just 2 minutes on this. This is one of the last places, well, it's the last place in America that runs its own bus system without a dedicated funding source. We're the last place on planet Earth, not just in America.
We know this.
On the whole Earth, Europe, Asia, Africa, United States, we are the last place, little Detroit, that runs its own bus system on its own general fund. We can't afford it no more. Every year the subsidy goes up because the health costs are in there, the pension costs are in there, the bus cost, a lot of the costs that are not capital are all in the bus service. So every year the city has to come up with more money to subsidize DDOT. 6 years ago that number was around 72 million. Now the number is at 80 million. 6 years from now it'll be at 90 million. And if we don't do something now, we'll be taking money from everything else. Parks, streets, all the other stuff we got to run in the city of Detroit, and it'll all go to DDOT. And in the meantime, the system has not gotten any better because you haven't gotten the equipment that you need to make it better, training that you need to make it better, the manpower that you need to make it better. We subsidizing it more every year, and it's not getting better. Now, I was born and raised in Detroit, and I know I'm the man, everything my fault. Everything that ever happened in this city, my fault. I understand. The streetlights wasn't working on Linwood when I was little. Damn it. And the Dexter, I've been doing like this for a long time. I took the Dexter every day. Every day. And this system has been in jeopardy for a long time. So when we start to do the overall review of the DDOT, we say, listen, what do we need to do to be able to make this bus system come when we need it to come, and at the same time be able to afford it at least for a few more years? Because we gotta have a transportation system. And when I was in Lansing, I sponsored this bill, the DARTA bill, and one of the problems that we had is that we couldn't get everybody on board because there's always a takeover mentality in Detroit. They're trying to take over. Yeah, we need somebody to take this over where we keep some sense of control in what we're doing around here. Unless we get a dedicated funding source for this transportation system, people are not going to get picked up. They're not. And so that's the situation that I want all of us to begin to discuss on how we do. We had some trial times when we talked about having service cuts, but we don't have enough information to do that. I threw that out to the unions because I wanted them to know what we were thinking about. I wanted them to know, get our bus system down, because we got to have enough downtime to get the buses up and running so they can actually run. And that's where we are on that particular issue. If you got a bus schedule to say 5:10 and the bus is not showing up at 6:30, that's a problem. And unless we work out how to fix that together, then there's still be a problem. I did ask the mayor, and I wanted to say this while mechanics were here 2 years ago, because we was going at it. That was a year ago. But that was a year ago. We had our meeting and we've been straight since. We figure out how to fix this together, it'll never get solved. And so that's where DDOT is today. We have not finalized times for service cuts. We haven't done the proper route and ridership studies to be able to say that. One thing that I came to the table with before we did that speech the other night on television is we need to find out if there's some massive group of people that need to move at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning. If they all going to Casino X, then we might need to run that line. If they all going to the Chrysler plant, you can't have everything like you always have. You can't. Things are going to change. The only systems in the world that are operating and our systems are not a part of the city. And they all pay to make those systems better. So unless we start to understand that things are going to change, we always had a 24-hour bus system. There are hundreds of cities across the country that don't have a 24-hour bus system. And we just need to talk about what those cities are and educate each other on that as well. But in Detroit, if we're looking for things to be always the way they always been, we're going to die. This city will be dead. The city's been dying for years and everybody in here knows it. We Detroit. We got a chip on our shoulder by Detroit. I love this town. But y'all been seeing it go to hell for the past 20 years. And unless we figure out 30, 40 years what to do together, we're going to go to hell all together. And I'm trying to figure out now, how do we work together to make this department and to make this city what we need it to be? On the 9 questions, is there anything Local 26 can do to reduce the number of drivers being laid off? No, not at this point. That is the number that we had to come up with after going through a review. The first or initial number of layoffs for the entire city that this is Sean Wordlow that just walked in and Roger brought me, was about 2,100 workers, which was unacceptable to me. Then they came back with 1,500 workers, unacceptable. And that's the one that you saw get in the paper and go to council and all that kind of stuff. And I went and we did 6 more months of review because I wanted to muscle out every department and make sure that we get exactly what we need to get. The layoff number that we have now is the one we have to work with. Number 2, can we stop people from riding free and collect some type of revenue from everybody? I hear y'all clapping. Now, I hear y'all clapping. Last time I said, let's charge the disabled people in my budget. Y'all let me get my ass whooped, and I ain't hear nobody.
No, you didn't come to us. You didn't come to us. You didn't come to us. You didn't come to us.
I see people rallying at council. I see people taking on the disabled community. When we did that, we wasn't doing that to mess with people with disabilities. But we tried to even out what SMART does and what we do.
We got your back now.
So y'all,
we got you now.
but this is something definitely. Listen, this is 2 things. Definitely we have to do. We have to even it out. Now, I'm not willing. I'm gonna tell you this straight up. Just I am. I'm not willing to go and ask for an increase for senior citizens.
No.
But I am willing to go back for the increase for people with disabilities, especially people here. But the free cars, though, let me just say that's definitely being revised. And we've been working for a couple of months to revise that. We issuing new cars from neighborhood city halls. Everybody's going to have to go through the same process again. So if they had a car and they were labeled mentally challenged a long time ago, that won't work anymore. We got to go through the whole new process again. And the people with disabilities, I'm hopeful that they have the same rate as they do on SMART, so we have a parallel track. But I need your help. When we go up with stuff like that, I'm like, you ain't got to come over here. That's why we're here today. And so that is something that we're willing to go back with. But let me say the caveat to that, because ridership levels in Detroit have dropped so much. This is a big issue. That won't be enough money from Fairbox to change this whole financial condition of the system. But it will be a little money to start to raise some dollars in the Fairbox to offset maybe some of the subsidy. But it won't be that huge of a big subsidy to offset $80 million. So we have to look at the numbers, and I have Sean run the numbers, and we'll work with Norm to figure out how many people are riding that are disabled. But